There is a moment in every life when the noise stops, when the frantic, endless chase for external comfort finally collapses. It is in that silence that the true work begins, the work of becoming. For too long, you have lived as a fragmented self, a reflection in the shifting waters of other people's expectations. This struggle, this quiet, pervasive anxiety, it is not your destiny. It is a symptom of 6 subtle, corrosive habits you embraced without knowing. You seek peace, you seek power, but you have been looking outside in the shallow approval of the crowd. The great teachers understood this. As the philosopher Epictetus taught, true freedom is not found in having what you want, but in wanting what you already have. Your own character, your own mind. This video is not about adding new tasks to your burden. It is about subtracting the weights that hold you down. It is a guide to the 6 subtle betrayals of self that must end today. We will explore 6 principles that, when understood and acted upon, will transform the architecture of your inner world in a single day. Listen closely. This is your foundation. 2. Main sections breakdown. 1. Over-explaining yourself. B. Description of the toxic behavior human pattern. You speak a sentence, and then another 5 to justify the first. You feel the constant internal pressure to defend your boundary, your choice, or your existence. This is the subtle signal you send to the world. My truth requires your approval to stand. It is a slow, self-inflicted wound. It drains your energy. It elevates the listener's judgment above your own conviction. It shows up as the unnecessary email, the defensive text, the endless loops of internal argument you have with someone who isn't even in the room. C. Stoic interpretation. The Stoics understood the immense power of silence and self-sufficiency. As Seneca might say, if your actions are pure, they require no elaborate defense. If they are impure, no defense will save them. Your character is not a performance for others, it is a discipline for yourself. To over-explain is to barter your inner peace for external comfort. It is to cede control over the narrative of your own life to those outside of your proheretic, or ruling faculty. D. Practical strategy. The discipline of sufficient statement. Step 1. T. Awareness. The pause. When you finish a statement, immediately pause. Recognize the impulse to add another clause, a disclaimer, or an anecdote. Identify that impulse as the desire for permission. Step 2. Internal response. The anchor. Gently override the impulse. Anchor your mind on the truth. My decision is sufficient. My character is my justification. There is nothing more to add. Step 3. External action. The seal. Offer a calm, direct and complete response, and then seal it with silence. Let the silence be the period at the end of your sentence, a subtle demonstration of self-trust. No, I think, no, I hope, just this is what I have decided. Step 4. The psychological reason why it works. When you stop defending yourself, people stop questioning you. You force the external world to deal with the reality of your decision, not the justification for it. It reclaims your dignity and attention. 2. Seeking constant validation. B. Description of the toxic behavior human pattern. This is the habit of outsourcing your self-worth. You present your achievement, your new look, your insightful thought, and then wait, breath held, for the electronic praise or the verbal nod of agreement. It is an addiction to the fleeting, external hit, a cheap substitute for enduring internal certainty. The moment the praise stops, you feel hollow, searching for the next fix. This makes you a servant to the mood and opinion of others, perpetually insecure and vulnerable to manipulation. C. Stoic interpretation. Marcus Aurelius spoke often on the value of the inner citadel. He might suggest, if you depend on the words of others for your happiness, you are merely building your house on quicksand. The Stoic knows that virtues, excellence of character, is its own reward. The judgment of others is an indifferent, a thing outside your control, and therefore irrelevant to your true flourishing. To seek validation is to treat the only thing truly good, your inner state, as something that can be conferred or revoked by another. D. Practical strategy. The validation detox. Step 1. Awareness. The tracker. Track every instance of checking comments, seeking praise, or asking, is this okay? The first step is to see the pattern clearly. You are searching for evidence you already possess. Step 2. Internal response. The redirection. When the impulse to seek external approval hits, immediately redirect that energy inward. Ask, did I act according to my best judgment and virtue? If the answer is yes, the matter is closed. Step 3. External action. The internal scorecard. For 1 week, keep an internal score. Focus only on self-approval. When you complete a difficult task, offer yourself a silent acknowledgement. That was done well. I acted with integrity. Deny yourself the comfort of external affirmation. Step 4. The psychological reason why it works. You sever the emotional wire connecting your effort to outside reward. This builds authentic self-trust, where your value is based on the quality of your own actions, not the volume of applause they receive. 3. Staying silent to keep peace. B. Description of the toxic behavior. Human pattern. You have a truth, a clear conviction, a boundary that is being breached, but the fear of the momentary, minor friction, the emotional bump of disagreement, compels you to bite your tongue and swallow the insult to your integrity. This is the habit of prioritizing false tranquility over necessary confrontation. You trade short-term comfort for long-term internal resentment. This silent surrender does not create peace, it creates rot. It teaches the world that your convictions are negotiable and that you will sacrifice your voice for convenience. See Stoic interpretation. True Stoic peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of justice and integrity within the self. Marcus Aurelius believed, the man who does not stand up for his truth sacrifices his mind for the ease of his flesh. The Stoic must speak the truth, not for the outcome, but for the sake of their duty to rationality and honesty. Your duty is to act with virtue, and virtue demands you articulate the truth of a situation when it is called for. You must be willing to endure the disapproval that honesty sometimes brings. D. Practical strategy. The measured truth. Step 1. Awareness. C. The triggered. Identify the feeling of inner conflict the moment you decide to suppress your honest opinion to avoid a minor disagreement. Recognize this as a failure of character, not a display of grace. Step 2. Internal response. The script. Calm the body. Frame your response as a statement of fact and feeling, not an accusation. Use the simple, honest formula: I see X and I feel Y. My preference is Z. Step 3. External action. The stand. Speak the statement in a calm, low authoritative tone, the tone of a person stating a reality. Hold the space. Do not apologize for your truth, but remain open to reasonable discussion. You are not arguing, you are simply defining your reality. Step 4. The psychological reason why it works. By speaking your truth calmly, you train your mind to associate honesty with safety rather than conflict. You restore internal congruence, and your relationships become stronger because they are built on reality, not on convenient fantasy. 4. Accepting blame that isn't yours. B. Description of the toxic behavior to a human pattern. You step in to apologize, to cushion the blow, or to smooth over a situation, taking the heat for something you did not cause. This is a common pattern for people pleasers and those who fear confrontation. The preemptive self-sacrifice. You believe you are being helpful or generous, but you are engaging in emotional fraud. You dilute your own sense of responsibility and teach others to offload their failures onto you. This habit erodes your self-respect and cultivates the feeling of being perpetually overwhelmed and unjustly punished. C. Stoic interpretation. The Stoics defined the locus of control as the dividing line between what is yours and what is not. Epictetus was clear. Do not seek to have everything that happens happen as you wish, but wish for everything to happen as it actually does happen, and your life will be serene. Taking unearned blame is a violation of this principle. It is to take responsibility for an event that was not in your control and not under your faculty of judgment. It is an irrational act that blurs the lines of accountability, which is essential for virtue. Your true duty is to only account for the choices you have made. D. Practical strategy. The clear boundary of accountability. Step 1. Awareness. The inventory. When an unexpected problem arises, do not instinctively apologize. Instead, take a deep breath and conduct a rapid, honest inventory. What part of this result was directly caused by an action or inaction of mine? Step 2. Internal response, the separation. Separate your genuine regret for the inconvenience from the false acceptance of fault. Affirms, I am responsible only for my own choices. Feel the mental shift as the unearned weight drops away. Step 3. External action, the redefinition. When addressed, state clearly where your responsibility ends. Use language like, I regret this occurred, but that aspect was outside of my direct control, or my role was X, and I stand by that. The outcome of Y belongs elsewhere. Step 4. The psychological reason why it works. You establish epistemic honesty. Honesty regarding knowledge and cause. This trains people to see you as a source of clear accountability, not a willing scapegoat. It reinforces your self-worth by protecting your sense of agency. 5. Allowing inconsistency. B. Description of the toxic behavior's human pattern. You declare a new habit, a new boundary, or a new intention. You hold it for a day, maybe 3, and then you quietly or dramatically relapse. The inconsistency is then brushed off with an excuse. I'm busy, I'm tired, or it's just a small thing. This habit is the single greatest destroyer of self-respect. It communicates a deep message to your unconscious mind. My word, even to myself, is unreliable. The small inconsistencies compound until you are living a life that is fundamentally fractured, your intentions divorced from your actions. This is the root of the pervasive feeling of being stuck. C. Stoic interpretation. The ultimate goal of the Stoic is ataraxia, tranquility, and eudaimonia as human flourishing, which is achieved through living in accordance with nature reason. This demands consistency of purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not be ashamed to need help." It is the path to constancy and self-mastery. To allow inconsistency is to choose the path of the undisciplined child. It is a violation of your rational faculty. The Stoic must treat every small commitment, waking up on time, reading 1 page, refusing 1 drink, as a rehearsal for character. There are no small betrayals of self, only small opportunities to reinforce your integrity. D. Practical strategy. The integrity anchor. Step 1. Awareness, the relapse recognition. Identify the exact moment you choose comfort over commitment. Do not judge it. Simply recognize it as a moment of internal failure of integrity. Step 2. Internal response. The recommitment. Do not wait for tomorrow or Monday. Recommit immediately. The next possible moment is your opportunity. If you missed a workout, do 5 push-ups right now. If you ate the wrong thing, your very next bite of food is your commitment. The failure is less important than the speed of your return. Step 3. External action. The small win. Focus only on micro-commitments, actions that are almost impossible to fail. Your only task for the next hour is to complete that one small, declared, virtuous action. Build a chain of these small, reliable victories. Step 4. The psychological reason why it works. You train the mind to believe that relapse is not the end, but a temporary deviation. By immediately returning to consistency, you establish a new, unbreakable pattern. I am a person who always honors my word to myself, even when I stumble. This restores confidence and drive. 6. Ignoring your intuition. B. Description of the toxic behavior human pattern, the quiet voice. The cold knot in your stomach. The subtle dread about a person, a deal, or a situation. You felt the warning, but you reasoned it away with logic, politeness, or the fear of being seen as irrational. This is the toxic habit of sacrificing wisdom, the highest Stoic virtue, for the appearance of intelligence. You prioritize the external presentation of a good decision over the internal truth of a wise decision. This constant internal dismissal of your primal intelligence leads to poor choices, deep frustration, and a disconnection from your authentic self. See Stoic interpretation. For the Stoics, the rational soul was paramount. While they would reject purely emotional or superstitious whims, they understood that virtue requires phronesis, practical wisdom. The core of your intuition, that gut feeling, is often the rapid, non-conscious calculation of your accumulated experience and wisdom. It is your rational soul processing data faster than your conscious mind can articulate it. Seneca would caution, We often know the right path long before we are willing to take it. The man who trusts his own accumulated reason is wiser than the man who only trusts the moment's calculation. D. Practical strategy. The intuitive audit. Step 1. Awareness. The body scan. When facing a decision, pause and conduct a quick, honest body scan. Where do you feel tension? Is it a light feeling of expansion or a heavy, contracting feeling of dread? Your body often processes the truth before your mind does. Step 2. Say, internal response. The veto. If the body signal is negative, do not proceed with the action. Instead, impose an internal veto. Tell yourself, I will not act on this for 24 hours. The risk to my peace is not worth the potential reward. Step 3. External action. The interrogation. Use the 24 hours to deliberately interrogate your intuition. Ask, what is the underlying fear or information that my body is processing? Do not try to disprove your gut feeling. Try to understand its logic. Step 4a. The psychological reason why it works. You transform intuition from a vague, unreliable emotion into a trusted data point in your rational decision-making process. By respecting the subtle warnings, you align your conscious mind with your deepest, most integrated self, leading to choices that are more consistently aligned with virtue. 3. Closing section. Pacing slows, becoming deeply reflective and grounding. You have just been given a map, 6 betrayals to eliminate, 6 acts of internal sovereignty to claim. Do not think of these as overwhelming tasks. Think of them as 6 doors you close forever. Transformation is not a sudden, explosive event. It is the cumulative effect of a single day lived correctly over and over again. The core of Stoicism is not harshness. It is honesty. Honesty about what is yours to control and what is not. Your character, your choices, your integrity. These are the only true possessions you will ever own. Protect them fiercely. They are the inner citadel. Today, you commit to protecting them. Choose one of these principles that resonated the deepest, the one you will claim as your focus right now. Affirm it, write it down, speak it aloud. Let's continue the journey toward calm, clarity, and unshakable inner strength.